All right, what's up, everyone? My name is Nick Tam with Agency Profits, and today I have Daniel on here, who is an agency owner, and he's absolutely smashing it right now, using some of our systems, and he's really taken it into his own business and built his own systems around it as well. So I'm super excited to introduce him, his story, and everything like that. So, Daniel, if you want to jump in, dude, and introduce yourself, that'd be awesome.
Thank you, Nick. Yeah, no, it's a pleasure to be here. It's been an interesting journey for sure. I don't know if you're ready to jump into the backstory and stuff like that, but I started when I was in university. I found Nick on Instagram, and I was a sophomore in college. I was always thinking about like maybe doing like agency stuff. I loved marketing. I thought, that's where the real money makers are. And I found his stuff, and I was like, this is the right thing. And a few months after joining the program, I signed my first client, and then I signed another, and then another, and I was like, you know what? My girlfriend just graduated university. Let's just go. And so we started traveling in Asia, and kept signing clients. I had a little bit of a dry spell for a bit, and it was tough. I was learning a lot though, polished things up, and then I joined Nick's coaching program, like personalized consulting stuff, and skyrocketed. I mean, the
Yeah.
last few months or last month has been crazy. Almost 3x my business, and hitting some insane goals now, and it's been really awesome. So, yeah, it's that's been the last like year and a half so far. So it's
Okay,
been awesome.
cool. Yeah, so just to give everyone context, yeah, literally, we just introduced consulting to your business, and then in the last month, you've already 3x, and you're on pace to do like significantly more. We were just talking about how you're about to sign another big client, and more in the pipeline and
Yeah.
stuff. So I'm super excited to get into that. But first and foremost, did you have any? You didn't have any marketing experience or anything like that when you first started, is that right?
I didn't have too much experience. I was doing it for local businesses here or there, my own thing. It wasn't like I didn't have like professional training. It was all self-taught, kind of just like going about it in different ways. But then I learned all of the skills necessary through you, and you in the course and stuff like that. And then, obviously being able to work with your team has been able to make my results fantastic, which has been awesome.
Thanks, dude. Yeah, well, it's props to you, man, for implementing. Um,
Thank you.
but yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
So I remember when you first signed on. Like, I remember you were like jumping on some of our Q&A calls and things like that in between classes and things like that. So you were doing the. So you're just kind of starting up at that time. But were you doing like freelancing, or it was literally just like some stuff here and there type of thing?
Well, I ran the social media for my college, Flagler College in St. Augustine, Florida. And I had helped like a skincare company, some other local businesses, that, I knew, so friends of friends, my mom's friends, stuff like that. Doing different things like building websites. I'd always kind of been in like the like tech marketing space, but it yeah, I mean, it was all just kind of messy. It was
Yeah,
very messy.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
and so I was able to really bring it together and make it super I didn't feel as confused and like, oh shit, what's the next step here? Which was a big problem that you were able to help me solve, which was awesome.
Sweet dude. Okay, cool. So were you making any money at that time, or like small amounts, or
Yeah, about right before I joined, like October of that year, I had one client who I was doing their Twitter for, and helping them with like Google Ads, and that was like 1,000 a month, and so I don't know, maybe I was like 19 or 20, something like that. Doing about like one grand a month. My parents were supporting me fully and stuff like that. And yeah, dude, it's crazy to think about.
I
'Cause
know.
it's just that's so nuts. You know what I mean? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I
But yeah, so
yeah.
so that's what I was doing.
I was in the same boat, dude. Like I for me too. When I first started, I was doing everything for multiple different companies, and I would just like take on, anything that they requested. I was like, I'll figure it out. I'll go hire a freelancer, or I'll do this. And then, it got really
Yeah.
messy. So, which is how I ended up coming
Yeah.
up with, the new age agency kind of model: one niche, one service, one offer. And that was kind of the main
Mhm.
thing we obviously talked about and implemented into your business. So, walk me through that after you had those fundamentals installed into your business, you niche down and everything. How did that change for you in the agency?
Well, it provided a lot more clarity and made things a lot more simple because one thing that I learned and that I'm still learning is like when things are complicated and busy, it often is not as good. So it yeah, it was I tried to start a marketing agency maybe a month or two before, which I wanted to call All in the Click, spelled like click like a group. And it was all
Okay.
about getting companies clicks, right? But it was going to be like a community. I still might do it, like I might start a school or whatever called On the Click, whatever. Um, if you want to steal this, go ahead, whatever, it's fine. But it's yeah, that's the most the most consolidated I had things, but it was still terrible. And then when I finally started implementing and niching down, everything actually became simpler than what I was trying to do. And then it was like way more successful. So I didn't feel as like my mind wasn't so mumbled and I'm like trying to learn everything. Oh God, I gotta learn Facebook ads and Google ads and organic virality and how to write hooks and do the oh goodness, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So then it was like, wow, I can just learn how to get good results for just one type of person. And then, next thing you know, that's that's
Yeah.
all it takes, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool, man. So, and then I also did the whole digital nomad thing for, prior to COVID and the pandemic and everything for like 3 years, something like that. And you kind of went on the same journey after your agency started taking off and start implementing some of those things, but it's never just sunshine and rainbows. I know that with an agency, always ups and downs when you're, especially at the beginning, because you're learning everything. You start to scale up a little bit and then you pull back a little bit and you start to it's like a push and pull type of thing. But yeah, I know you went traveling and stuff like that too, man. So that's the cool thing about agency is you can do it from anywhere in the world. But yeah, maybe tell us a little bit more about kind of that experience and how that was, how it impacted your business and stuff like that.
Yeah, so that changed my life. And it was just, I mean, the best experience ever. We're getting ready to go on another long trip here, but it it was just kind of like everything kind of fell into place perfectly. I signed um enough clients where it was the most money I was ever making in my life at that point, you know.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, I can finally support myself for with everything that I need to. And so in as a young entrepreneur, a big thing is like that freedom of being able to like when I can pay my own bills, I can make my own decisions,
Mm.
which was really cool. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go travel the world. My girlfriend just graduated university. It's summer. Let's go to Asia. And so we went to Vietnam, we went to Cambodia, we went to Thailand, we went to Singapore, we went to Bali, and we had a really great time. And it didn't stop there. We then traveled all over Europe, and that's a really funny story why. But it was just a fantastic experience. I learned so much about myself and the agency provided all of that. I wouldn't have been able to gain so much insight on the world and myself if I didn't have the ability to be making money as I'm traveling. Like it's
Yeah.
the coolest thing in the world, right? Like you make money on vacation, and that's just it's awesome, you know?
100%, dude. And
Yeah.
man, I feel like just from a personal standpoint, you seem like you've matured a lot in the time I've known you, like very quickly.
Oh yeah.
um,
Thanks, man.
yeah, from like, when you first started, like seeing you literally in between like university classes, taking these calls, grinding away, and I think the biggest thing too is like you always took action. So like for anything for anything, it's like you have to take action. You have to take what we tell you and implement. So I think that was why you saw a lot of success early on, was because you just implemented and kind of trusted the process, which is really good. But yeah, dude, I totally agree. I mean, just to sideline away from the agency, it's cool to, make money online and have that location freedom. I mean, it's freaking sick. Cause that was like what, an 8 month long, 9 month long trip or something like that.
Yeah, yeah, it was about 6 months, give or take, doing half Asia, half Europe.
Okay.
Europe was an accident. We were leaving Singapore, going to Indonesia, to Bali,
Yeah.
and the person at the front was like, or at the check-in was like, okay, where are you going after Bali? And we were like, oh, Italy. And I just said something because I didn't know it was on like the immigration stuff. She's like, okay, can I see your plane ticket? I said, oh, yeah, 1 second. So I whipped up kiwi.com. It's like a great place to buy flights. And I go and I'm like, my head's down for 5 minutes and I say, here are the tickets right here. I had bought a plane ticket right at the counter, and she started laughing. And then we ended up going to Milan. And then we traveled. We did like Italy, France, Spain, Switzerland, and that was so cool. That was awesome.
Bro, that's so sick.
That's definitely another. Switzerland's probably the end goal for where I'd like to live for a while, I think.
Yeah, well, you can make it happen at the pace you're at, for sure.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
but that's really cool. I think like those experiences, I mean, that's what, aside from making money online and things like that, I think that's what really, owning a business is about. And what like an agency can actually do is give you experiences while you're super young, and like, get to experience and really like self-develop. I mean, for me, I really felt like my self-development came from really putting myself outside of my comfort zone, growing up in Canada
Right.
for my whole life, and then being able to just travel the world with literally everything at my fingertips was an insane experience. And it like really allowed me
Yeah.
to kind of figure out what was important to me, what's not important to me, what do I actually value, and all those things. I don't know if you kind of went through the same thing, but I just think it's really cool to be able to experience that and then like grow really, really quick. Like some people don't get to do that shit in their life, dude, like what you did, which is so insane.
Yeah. 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 I couldn't imagine. I think yeah, no, it's so worth it. I think that it's honestly, we've been, now I'm going to get a little bit philosophical for a second here, but, you know, we've been given this one life, right? For all we know, there's only one time that we get to do this thing of
Mm-hmm.
life, right?
Mm-hmm.
And to not try our hardest and do our best and to put our all into everything and take the risks is kind of like the biggest spit in the face to our creator or to the universe. It's like, you know what? Yeah, you gave me this life. F you.
Yeah, it's
I'm
almost
not
like a
even gonna do anything
disservice,
with it.
right?
Like that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Like I think that it's our duty, it's our responsibility to go hard in the paint and like and give it our all and take the risks and do and take the leap and do the things that our guts are telling us to do. And if we don't do that, then it's just like the most disrespectful way to put the middle finger to our the only life we've been given, our creator, if you believe in that, or the universe, all of existence, the rest of humanity, right? Your
Yeah,
future
yeah.
children, stuff like that. It's just to me, I think it's a necessity for people to take responsibility for their life and be like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna be the one that that either whatever the situation is takes ends a family cycle of poverty or experiences the world for the first time in the family or sets their children and their grandchildren up for a life where they can just choose whatever they want to do without any restrictions, stuff like that. I think making money and being successful is the most selfless thing that anybody could ever do, just because of how much good it brings to the world. In order to be successful, you have to do good things, right? Me getting
Absolutely.
good results for my clients means that I'm going to make more money, and that means that my children are going to be better off, and they're going to be able to do better things. Maybe
Yeah.
find the cure to cancer because they're not worried about other stuff. Stuff like
Yeah, there
that.
you go. I love it,
That's a
dude.
little, that's yeah, that's philosophical Daniel for you for a sec.
Yeah, yeah, I love it, man. No, I agree. I full on agree. And I think that's why I'm like so passionate about, helping people get started because, dude, I mean, I've seen it happen a lot where people are like, screw it, I'm going all in. I don't advocate this for everyone where, yeah, you dropped out of school and you're like, screw this and
I
went all in
did.
on your agency.
Yeah.
Some people, they leave their 9 to 5s and pursue the agency, or some people moonlighted and start the agency and then go all in after. But I think it's like that initial first step, people are so scared because it's like the scare or the fear of failure, the fear of just getting started, being paralyzed by all the information that's out there and not knowing where to start. But honestly, I think the biggest thing that
Right.
people get trapped in is just being stuck in their comfort zone. It's like super easy to just stay in your 9 to 5 and live life. And that's fine if you want to do that, right? You just know exactly the next 40 years of your life, how that's going to look. But it's like if you want to change things up and you want bigger and better,
Yeah.
well, you got to take a little bit of
Yeah.
risk. No risk, no reward, right? Higher the risk, higher the reward in a
Hmm.
sense. Um, I think we're in a bit of a different time where an agency is really not that risky. You're cash flowing on client number one. And in under a year, right, you can really grow something that's very substantial that can make significantly more than a 9 to 5 can give you. So, dude, I don't know if you have like any advice for people who are like kind of scared to invest into themselves, scared to take a risk on themselves, but what kind of made you say like screw it, I'm gonna do this and like go all in into it?
I think that that's a great question. I think that part of it is the understanding that no matter what happens, like you'll be fine at the end of the day. Like it's not that big of a deal, right? Like it to me, it's scarier to know that I never even gave it a shot
Mm,
than to be like, I tried and it didn't work. Like, yeah,
yeah,
I gave it a shot. Like that, I can at least pat myself on the back because I gave it an opportunity. I actually tried. But if I don't even try, it's hard for me to live with myself not trying things that I know could work. And so yeah, that for me is the biggest thing. It's like even if it didn't work, like I'd be fine. And if I didn't do
yeah,
it,
yeah,
I'm not gonna be fine with myself. I'm not gonna like it's gonna I like to know that every day when I wake up and I look in the mirror, I'm proud of the person I'm looking at. And that's the biggest thing for me. Every morning when I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, damn, I'm so proud of you.
yeah.
That's the greatest feeling in the world. And that only comes from doing the things that by trying things and just going for it.
Hell
I
yeah,
believe.
love that. Sweet, man. I think when I was like 18, I read. I don't know. Did you ever read the Tim Ferriss 4 Hour Work Week?
I didn't read it. I watched like a YouTube summary on
Okay,
it.
so
But
yeah,
yeah.
I read his book when I was 18. It's something that really stuck with me, and it's like such a small piece, but I found it so powerful. Is that most people live their life to like a 5 out of 10. So he was like, my life's a 5 out of 10 right now. It's all right, not amazing, but not the
Hmm.
worst. And he's like, but I
Yeah.
want my life to be a 10 out of 10. So what happens if I take a risk on myself? Maybe for a short period of time, it goes down to like a 3 out of 10. But then, and eventually you get to a 10 out of 10. Is that worth the risk of that? Because at the end of the day, let's say you do that, it's very easy to take yourself. Let's say you fail and you drop down to like a freaking 0 out of 10 and life really, really sucks. You can build back up to a 5 out of 10 again. And that's kind of
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
to
yeah,
me,
yeah.
that was like, okay, cool. If my worst case scenario is things suck for a little bit and I can get back to a 5 out of 10, but the chances are my life
Yeah.
becomes a 10 out of 10, I'm taking that risk every freaking day, all day long. So I thought that was
Yeah,
really powerful.
exactly.
It's just, that was something that really changed my mindset when I was young.
I love that. Yeah, that's cool. I like that way of contextualizing it. I didn't know about that part of the book. I need to read it. I'm gonna read
It's a good
it.
book. It's a good book. Cool,
Yeah,
man.
I'm sure
So
it is. I've heard of it.
so after when did you get back? How long ago was that? A few months ago?
Man, we got back in, oh, this is huge. Okay, so we got back in like October or September, something like that. Maybe October, I don't know, something like that in the fall.
Yeah, yeah.
And what's crazy actually, when I was traveling, I think I was just more inspired by just life and my environment and things like that. So I was like signing more clients, just having a little bit more like life, you know? Um, and when I got back, I was a little bit like, nah, this sucks to be back, you know? But and so I kind of went through a bit of a dip there. I lost a few clients and things were pretty slow for a little bit, for a period of maybe like 4 months. And then I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep putting the entire time though, I wasn't feeling sorry for myself. I was still like going hard, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
but on other things, which to be honest worked. I think that everything happens for a reason, right? And so that time of not signing new clients was an opportunity to polish my website and to, which isn't necessary. People still don't look at my website, but
Yeah.
you know, it's nice for me to know that I have a nice website, get an official email, and get like you know, I set all of those foundations up. And so when it was ready to like relaunch and go super hard on getting new clients and stuff like that, I felt like there were no cracks in my system. And I was able to build that through that 4 month period. Um, and so then, you know, about January or February, I was like, all right, this is 2024. I'm not going to be like everybody and say, New Year's resolution. Let me do something for 30 days.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's make this a real thing for forever. And so I started posting every day, going, really doing the things that are required, sending the messages. And then back to back, I just started signing clients. And then, you know, one a month now has gone to, I don't know what's this month, four in a month, five in a month, stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah. It's good. It's a good.
yeah,
It's a good sign when you don't remember how many clients you signed this month. It means it's a lot.
that's right. That's right. That's right. And so it's, yeah, that was kind of one thing, and that's part of the reason too why we're ready to move back. We're going to Vietnam in July.
Love it.
Um, to yeah. It's just when you're able to work from anywhere and be able to provide value to people from anywhere, and have awesome people like your team helping us service our clients and stuff like that, well then I can spend the rest of the time letting my soul breathe and feel like I don't have so much weight on my shoulders, right? That's been another thing, another awesome thing about scaling is now I've been able to, you've helped me hire a VA, you've helped me place other things and systems in my business at this point where it's starting to become less and less stressful and more fun. Like I'm just like signing and having fun and having a great time on sales calls, and
Yeah.
my VA is doing my messaging for me, and I'm just like making money and helping people get great results. I open my email, boom, new house because I help roofers, and so like, oh, they signed a new roof, two new roofs, etc. And it's like, wow, this is awesome. Great
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. No, that's super awesome, man. So let's get into that nitty gritty stuff a little bit. So, yeah, so we went through a rebuild phase, which is fine. You know, we all go through that where it's like a little bit of push and pull, and then rebuild your offer and everything like that. So then, yeah, we start. So you went through our initial program, which helps you build out your fundamentals, and then now we're adding in. You're in our mastermind where we essentially help people add in consulting to their business to take their business to the next level. So let's talk a little bit about that. Let's talk first and foremost about kind of the ins and outs of what you're actually doing. So prior to you were doing everything, right? Outreach, sales calls, discovery calls, client fulfillment, everything like that. And then tell me a little bit how that's changed, kind of in the last, couple months or month or so.
Yeah. So, in the beginning, obviously, you know, I had to do everything, which I think is important, right? Because you get to learn a little bit about what's necessary, and then it's easier to train people later. But since hiring a VA, the issue is in the beginning, I was doing so many low level tasks,
Hmm.
right? I mean, it's still great to maybe not low level because messaging is like essential, right? That's like that's gonna get you clients, but it was draining, like draining tasks. And just being able to have enough cash flow to then hire somebody to take off the draining tasks has allowed me to improve my product and my service astronomically.
Mm.
Our what we provide now is so much better than it was 2, 3 months ago. Like it's night and day. In terms of what my day to day used to look like, it was, sending messages, tracking them on my KPI sheet, and then I'm trying to just balance everything, remember all of my who's in what stage of the pipeline, who did I have sales calls with, who
Yeah.
ghosted, who do I need to follow up with, and it's kind of messy, pretty stressful, and it's like, oh God, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna do this? And then I was able to like implement the right systems, keep things organized, and now I know exactly where everybody is. My VA handles a lot of it. So a lot of the outreach and the follow-ups and things like that. And then now I can focus more on like improving the messaging that we do on the client's behalf when we reach out to homeowners. Doing improving the actual like systems that we have as a part of our deliverable. And so now that I'm able to focus more on our results that we get for our clients, I'm able to charge more. I'm able to have more conviction with my sales, which makes it so much easier to sell. Um,
Mm.
so because I know that I could help them. I know, like, listen, it would be so silly for me to not let you get this program because we would literally change based on what you told me, like we would change your life. And so that conviction is everything. And so being able to just focus on my product now and my self, it's astronomically helped my sales and my our mission and things like that. And so my day to day is a lot more fun now. I get to spend more time playing playing video games and stuff like that. But not in an addicting way. It's actually been so funny that just lately since I've been back on Minecraft, I've been making more money.
You're
But
like, this is weird.
yeah. But a lot of it is because I've been able to focus less on less on like the small stuff. Because you've helped me get that cash flow with the foundation. I was able to get the cash flow to then place the right VA that you guys found for me, which has now allowed me to focus on a better product, which allows me to have more conviction. So sales calls are super easy and streamless because it's not a sales call. It's like, this is what we do, and it would change your life if you move with us. I
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that for a fact. And so um, then I'm like, okay, great. Now I can spend the rest of the day enjoying life and working out and playing Minecraft. So
Yeah, yeah. No, that's
yeah.
awesome, man. Yeah, so I think lots to touch on there. So, yeah, so to give everyone context, how one of the ways we get clients is purely just organic outreach, not doing cold calling or anything like that. We're talking like Instagram,
Right.
utilizing Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, posting content to nurture and doing just outreach there, which is so crazy to me. On a side note, it's like you can just use your profiles and literally like build a business from
Yeah.
it. But yeah, then
Yeah.
we placed the VA for you. And then that they start taking over your outreach. Is that right?
Yeah, the outreach for like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. Um, One thing that you touched on, which I want to mention really quickly, was huge for me, is the um, being able to reach out through social media that you taught, right?
Mm.
So I don't like cold calls. I don't like cold email. I don't those other like things that other agencies might claim are like staples and essential.
Yeah.
Um, I've been able to scale like crazy just with Facebook and Instagram. And
Hmm.
it's so much easier and so much more personable and there's a lot less friction, I think, in the process because at the end of the day, we're two friends on Facebook or Instagram following each other's journey through
Hmm.
life, right? And I get to post the content, the right kind of content, which you've definitely helped with a lot,
Hmm.
to be able to speak to the right audience and help people understand how we can provide value to them. And so, yeah, the social media thing has been huge, way
Yeah.
better than cold email or cold calling, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
And you're
Yeah.
building up like an audience who like actually resonates with you as a person, likes you as a person, and agrees with your
Right.
values and things like that. It's just, for me, it's such a great
Hmm.
long-term, relationship that you can build with someone, instead of just like calling them up and be like, hey, I can help you scale your business. You're going to get like a million no's doing that. And then the one yes you do get is very purely transactional. Whereas like now,
Yeah.
like doing that paired with the right offer. I mean, we were talking a little bit about this too, but like the guy that you're about to sign, he was like surprised. He's like, this offer is like absolutely insane. And he's like, can I just pay you up
Yeah.
front in full?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny. That was, yeah, just yesterday I had a client say, "Yo, I thought based off of everything you just said, like I thought this was gonna be like way more. Like it's amazing value that you're able to provide. Can I just pay it all up front right now?" And I said, "So sure, of course."
Yeah, that's so awesome.
Um,
And as a
yeah,
and
which is awesome. Yeah.
that call came from your VA doing outreach, is that right?
Yeah,
Pure
that's
direct
correct.
outreach, got onto a call with you, then your conviction, all the content and stuff like that in between, nurture, and then paired with like the
Right.
perfect offer. Now it's just a new client. And literally that's like the leverage of having, someone as simple as a VA taking those little tasks off so you can focus on the bigger picture stuff. But then it's like super high leveraged as
Right.
well, because that client's going to make you a ton of money now.
Exactly. Right. Yeah, so that's it's something so huge that I just helped my girlfriend get a VA too because she also does works online.
Cool.
And it's having a VA has been the most insane thing ever. It takes so much off my plate that I was like, you got to do it. Let's find you one. Uh,
Yeah.
and so we got her one and she's loving it so far.
Talk
It's been a
about
day, but
talk
she's
about
loving
an ROI though, eh? Like it's insane. So
it. Oh yeah, for
yeah.
sure.
Cool, man. Well, let's dive in a little bit to the consulting piece. So we recently helped you rework
Perfect.
the offer. You added in consulting. First and foremost, why don't you give people, because I think people tend to get consulting, even for you, right? When I first introduced it to you, you're like, what the hell is consulting? How do you even, like, what is
I was
it?
so confused. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe if you can explain to people what that actually means and how you've implemented it into your business.
Yeah. So, okay. In the beginning, I was like so confused about what consulting was. And now it's so clear to me. Part of it is because I used a vision board to kind of paint the picture. Um, and visuals help me a lot. But so a lot of agencies, they only solve two steps of the entire client getting process,
Hmm.
right? So you can imagine like the whole client getting process is going to be generating a lead, collecting the lead, and then sending the lead over to, from the perspective of an agency, right? You generate the lead, you collect the info, you send it over to your client, and then they have a convo with the lead, they book the estimate, and they close the job, right? At least for home service.
Hmm.
So most agencies they only dance in the first two sections of that whole process, which is they generate leads with Facebook or Google, and then they collect the leads with the lead form, and then they just kind of leave the whole company hanging for the whole rest of it, which, in my opinion, is the most essential part. Right? They leave them hanging for the initial outreach. They leave them hanging for the follow ups. They leave them hanging for the right messaging. They leave them hanging for the the sales follow-ups and the calling them in time and what to say and how to behave, stuff like that. Because most companies, if they're especially if they're just getting into ads, they only understand how to deal with referral based traffic or word of mouth. And they
Yeah.
think they're so great because their organic stuff works so well. They think they're fantastic at sales. Yeah, you
Yeah.
get me in front of a homeowner and I'll close them in, I'll close them 9 out of 10 times. Like, all right, dude, let's give it a shot with some ads. You take your same process and show me how many you close.
Yeah.
Nothing. Oh, what's wrong with these leads? They're all ruined. They're all bad.
Yeah.
No. The sales process is bad because it's completely different. It's a different animal. And so the consulting piece is installing that solution into their company so that they can beat this new beast, this new boss level without any issues, right? So So our offer is we do the initial outreach for them, we do the follow-ups for them, we do something called a call connect where we'll link the two phones. We'll call our business owner within the first 5 minutes of a lead form being submitted, and then they just press a number on their keypad to then call the lead. So if they're available, right, then they can instantly just contact the lead without having to go to their email, see the lead form, copy the number, put it, call it. Hey, we just do it. They're just getting a ring and they're like, boop, hi, homeowner. What can I do for you? Et cetera.
Yeah.
Then we also give them the right scripts, the right things to say when they're texting the homeowners, the right things to say when they're on the phone, the right way to behave at the estimate. Because a lot of this is a huge thing for roofers specifically. They love to do text estimates. They just text over or email over the estimate of how much the new roof is going to be. You know how easy it is for a homeowner to ghost that? So they're like, you can generate, as an agency, you can generate all these leads, still help them with the initial outreach and the follow-ups, but then they'll just like text over the estimate. Yeah, it'll be 12,000 for your roof. The homeowner can then just be like, I'm not going to respond and I'm going to go price shopping and then go with a different roofer. And now you're being blamed and your roofer's saying, these leads are terrible, but it's not that. You got to train them on how to give in-person estimates and be there, say the right things in the sales and stuff like that. And believe it or not, it's really not that complicated. It's just things that these business owners don't have the time to think about. They don't have the time to brainstorm on. And so you're able to be that support piece for them in order to help them do all of that solution finding. They have these problems, you find the solutions for them in anything sales, marketing, hiring, growing, scaling, etc. Right? It's actually pretty easy to hire people, but it's really hard for a business owner to hire people because there's so much that they're thinking about, so much that they're doing, so much that this and that, right? I could find them a fantastic videographer that'll get them all the best organic and ad content. I could use an app called Thumbtack. I can get it for them in the morning and it'll be the greatest hire, train them up right. But for them to find a videographer, it could take weeks or months. It could be the entire roofing season. Oh, I've been trying to hire someone for our organic content and it's just so hard. You know what I mean? Like their lives are so busy. They're doing so much and they're working so hard. And so they're so distracted with these problems that are so integral. And so providing little solutions for that is the consulting piece. And so from like a high level, one more time, agencies, they just do the beginning of that whole process. We'll get you the lead and we'll give you the info. And then they're going to leave you hanging for everything else. As a consultant, you get the lead, you still run the ads. So you're still getting the lead. You're still generating that lead with Facebook or with Google or whatever, Instagram. You're collecting the data with the lead form. You're still doing a great job there. But then you're providing them with the right tools and resources to do the initial outreach, to do the follow-ups, to give them the right scripts, to provide things like videographers or hires or VAs, whatever. And then coaching them on like, you got to do in-person estimates. You got to say this when you're doing your sales. You got to objection handle. Just because they need to think about it doesn't mean they need to think about it. Okay. You just don't lose a sale because of $100. Right.
Yeah.
And things like that. And so a lot of mindset training, things that you would expect that anybody kind of needs, but you're just providing that for them specifically and then charging for it because otherwise they would have never done it. Even though a lot of these things people can do it on their own, they're never going to actually do it because it takes that accountability. You're an accountability buddy for growth.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. But you're actually
100%.
providing them with a lot of those things.
You almost like become a partner in a sense. Yeah.
Exactly right. When they grow, you grow. And the biggest thing for me is no churn, right? I want every single one of my clients to be so happy that they'll forever be with me. Like they're gonna pay their electricity type bill, right? It's their marketing bill, their sales, their growth bill, for the next 10, 20 years, because we've been always able to provide those fantastic resources for them forever. And it's not this endless cycle of I've tried 10 marketing agencies and they've all just been so terrible. And so like they're just leaving me hanging with these trash leads. They're all poor and things like that. You don't want to be one of those, right? You want to be the end of the cycle. So okay, I'm gonna be your partner for the next 10 years, and we're gonna actually rock this. Yeah. And so that's what the consulting piece does, in my opinion.
Yeah, you nailed it. So it's like basically it's just coming up with solutions for every part of the process that could prevent them from growing, from actually getting more customers, right? And there's a lot of inputs, there's a lot of roadblocks in between a cold traffic ad campaign to turning them into a actual customer. So it's just knocking down all those pieces. So most people are like, I think the thing that stops most agencies is like they don't really think like a real business owner sometimes. They're like, let me just run your ads and then, leave, like you said, leave you hanging. As a real business owner, your job is to find solutions for problems that arise, right? And you're just like coming up with
Right.
solutions. Um, so you're in the roofing space. Most people are like, I don't know how a roofing sales process works. How am I supposed to consult on that, or how am I supposed to build up a solution on that? So what did you do that allowed you to build these things in place? Because you did this really freaking quick. We're talking like in the last like month you built all this out.
Yeah. Um, it's about just diving into the heads of their customer. Who's the homeowner? What do they want? You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, how does a homeowner want to be treated? Do they want a roofer that doesn't actually show that they care? Like I'm on Facebook between my cat videos, I see this thing and yeah, I have a leak in my kitchen. I'm gonna submit this form to get a roof inspection. But then I don't get contacted for 2 days. And then when they contact me, they're gonna come by next week. They come late and then they're gonna text me the estimate. Oh, bro, that roofer doesn't care about me. Come on, why would I even want to go with them?
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, well, how can you make your homeowner like how can you make a homeowner happy? Say, well, as soon as they submit the form, you text them and you call them. We send a text within the first 5 seconds. It's within the first millisecond. They submit the form and then they get a text. Bloop. Hey Sasha, thanks for submitting our form. By the way, wouldn't it be the best time for me to come by and give you that whatever inspection,
Yeah.
etc. Um, and then so that alone shows that you're active and you care. And then training your client to understand maybe it's not them that runs these inspections and stuff, but they need to be incredibly clear to their salespeople or their inspectors, whoever it is, that listen, you need to be on time. And when you get there, you need to be personable. You need to clean up after yourself, make sure there's no nails on the floor, on the grass after the replay, things like that. Whenever if you're doing a repair, whatever it is, and then telling them like you got to do in-person estimates. You got to show that you care, even if you got to go back for the estimate, right? Because sometimes it takes time to put the numbers together. I get it. So they do the inspection, then they might give them an estimate a day later. But you got to show up. You got to knock. Hey, here's your estimate. Let me break it down with you. Let me go over these things. But the real that thinking about like as a homeowner like that's huge. I'd say that's like 80% of it. But then the other 20%, which is like probably the most essential, is going to be it's coming from your clients. And I think that the consulting piece is a natural evolution of an agency, right?
Mm.
As you're as you're getting leads and running your agency, you just naturally see these problems. And a lot of agencies, they just don't do anything about it. They're just like, oh, sorry. And then they get cut off and the roofer will then go with a different agency. But if you can be the one to come up with, oh, let me find a solution for that, and then provide that to the roofer, then all of a sudden you're slowly becoming a consultant. And as soon as you have a product suite of all of these different solutions, then now you're an official consultant. That's the way I'm understanding it. But
Yes. Yeah.
and so a lot of it is like just listening to your clients. What are the biggest problems for them? What are some of the hugest things? And so when you think about it as a homeowner, and then think about it as their client, and then think about it like actually listen to their problems and what they're complaining about and what their issues are, and then provide solutions for that. And my best parts of my consulting offer come from the biggest problems that I see in like the majority of my clients. Like it's a consistent issue.
Yeah.
Great. Let me create a plug and play solution for this consistent issue. And next thing you know, wow, now I can charge an extra $500 a month for my service, and no one will blink an eye. In fact, they'll grab at it. They'll give it to
Yeah.
me, right? Because that's such a problem. That's such a big problem for them, and then you're able to solve that, and then that just makes everything better and easier. And then that's sticky, right? Because they want to be able to stick with you.
Yeah. And the best part is that you only need to build it once because then you can roll it into your
Exactly.
next clients.
Right. Exactly.
And then that's the best part about kind of this model too, staying in like one specific niche and building your solution for that. Because most agencies, they have an issue of every time they bring on a client, they don't really have a real solution that's built. They're kind of starting from scratch when they're taking on different clients in different industries or doing a ton of different services. They
Right.
don't really have predictability, whereas you've built a positive flywheel where it's like every time you get a client, your solution gets better because you're finding more solutions for that client
Yeah.
and implementing solutions from the previous client. So then it's like you do this for
Yeah.
10 years, it's like it's your product, your service is not even comparable. Agencies can't even compete with you.
Yeah.
It's crazy. So
Yeah.
simple, but it's
No,
so crazy.
exactly. Yeah, it's huge. And that's one thing that I didn't touch on. You're so right. It's like now, especially because I focus just on roofers now, because I've tried, I dabbled in some other niches while I was going through growing pains. Now that I focus fully on roofers, like w when our messaging continues to get better with every roofer, which means that we're booking them more appointments, which means that they're closing more roofs because we learn, Texas, for example, our client in San Antonio, Texas, is just like smashing it with this one version of the texting messaging that we've given them. And so we can then plug that and give it to our client in Louisiana. Next thing that's really working. And then we can give that as a, uh, uh, what's it called? What's it called when you a lead
That's
magnet? We could
oh
give it
yeah.
as a lead magnet. Next thing you know, to more potential clients because it's like so dialed in, and so it has like you're saying that positive flywheel by just focusing on just one space, one niche, and then you create these little micro solutions that you can then give out as lead magnets and stuff like that. And it's just so much like you're saying, yeah, it's so much easier
So much easier. So
to then
much better.
provide more value. Yeah,
Yeah, better for your
for
client,
sure.
better for you. It's a win-win situation.
For sure. Mhm.
So yeah, dude. I mean, to touch on and kind of close the loop for the consulting piece, I think the other thing too is that information is out there. Like, it's there's so much info in terms of how to set up ads and all this stuff, but it's solving these problems and presenting a solution. Like that's you look at big consulting firms, right? Like Deloitte and McKinsey and all those companies. And from what I understand, when they take on a client, all they do is they do research, they find solutions, they present it to the client and help the client implement. The client gets better results. It's like that's essentially what we're doing.
Right.
We're looking for information, coming up with solutions, implementing it, trialing it out. Once it works, we document it and then roll it out to our other clients. And that's all it becomes. It becomes this flywheel. And next thing you know, you're on the way to 100K a month. Like I really think like with your offer and everything. I mean, what you tell me? Do you think this is going to get you to 100K a month and like a multi seven figure marketing company?
I think that's lowballing.
Okay, okay, I
I
love
think
that.
yeah, I think it'll at least get to 100K a month, if not more, for sure. I
Yeah,
mean, I think so. Yeah,
I agree, dude. I
I'm not
agree.
gonna cap. Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
so it's super cool, man. But yeah, dude, we went over a lot of stuff. I hopefully everyone's enjoying the content. But last thing I want to touch on, dude, is now that you've had some record months, you've made more money than you ever had. You're going to Asia again. Your life's drastically different, dude. So, I guess tell me how that actually feels. Like to actually be living what you envisioned only a year ago.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. So when I was in Asia last time, I had a goal to eclipse my parents' income. Uh, and that would be my reason for dropping out of school. And when it came time to go back to school, I hadn't reached that goal yet. And I decided to drop out anyway. And that dropout gave me enough time and enough energy every day to get to that goal. And I haven't confirmed it yet. I actually don't know how much my dad makes, but I'm pretty sure that I'm making more than my mom's ever made in a year now. And I'm 21, right?
Oh,
So that's
dude, you're
pretty, I think
young.
that that's pretty neat. Yeah. Yeah. So, and I think that that's pretty neat. And the biggest thing that I'm learning is that it doesn't really matter about how long it takes or how, all of these other factors that people think. It's really just about doing the right things. When you do the doing, the very specific things that need to be done, send the message, do the sales call, actually provide good value, and then find more solutions and then provide those, then you'll get to wherever you want to go like pretty instantly, nearly, very quickly. And so that's very freeing. And so it feels really great. It feels awesome to be able to hit all these goals. And with your help and your accountability buddy part, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Helping me stay accountable. I've been able to pretty much hit all of the goals I've set for myself so far, and that feels awesome. And for me, like I said in the beginning, being able to look at myself in the mirror and feel very proud is huge. And I every day I'm more and more proud of myself. And
That's
and
awesome.
I and it's just yeah, and I'm learning so much every moment of every day, and I love it. And it's never felt better. I feel so happy and excited about life, and I just have so much more time and freedom and ability, what really feels great is being able to provide great value to my clients, and a lot of that comes from having the right systems, niching down, focusing, and then being able to have that cash flow to then hire the right people, put them in place, and next thing you know, wow, I have this free time and this ability and these things, and I can just provide so much value, and it feels great. My soul is happy,
Yeah, you
very
sound
happy.
aligned. You sound like you have a lot of alignment.
Thank you. I really feel it.
That's awesome. I think that's a great place to end off. But is there any last minute things you want to share before we finish up here?
Yeah, I know that there's at least one person watching this. I see you, and
Yeah.
you're thinking, you know, is it really worth it? Should I do it? Is this guy full of BS or is this real? Um, Absolutely, absolutely, you should. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna be fine. Whatever happens. But what really takes it, in order to really succeed, you just have to commit yourself to the process and trust. Because at the end of the day, um, go the easiest cheat code in all of life, the easiest way to cheat anything in life is just to go to someone that's already done exactly what you want to do and learn from their exact footprints, and follow the exact map that they've laid out for themselves. And if you want to go even one step further, go to someone who's not only done it for themselves, but continues to do it for other people. And Nick is a perfect example of that, if not the most perfect example of that. And so in order to cheat code anything in life, like I'm saying, uh, go find people that have already done it, especially those who have already taken other people, and learn from them and take that leap, because at the end of the day, that process is already proven. And so you're not taking shots in the dark thinking, is it going to work? You know that it'll work when you do these things that they've done and other people have done. And that's the easiest way to win at anything in life. And that's the best cheat code. And so do it. I believe
Dude,
in you.
I
You
love
got
that. Thank you,
it.
bro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, props to you. You made it happen. I just gave you the
Thanks.
blueprint. You put it all into action. So I'm excited, man. We'll have to do this in like a few months again. See where you're at, and
Oh yeah.
well, we're hosting the live event here, so maybe we'll do one in person. That'd be super dope. So
Oh, that would be sweet.
yeah, but no, man, it's
Yeah.
a
That'd
you
be
deserve
awesome.
all the success and glories to you, bro. So great work on everything so far. If you want to check Daniel, I'll link his stuff as well. I know you post some fire content, and then yeah,
Thanks.
go check his stuff out as well. So other than that, man, thanks for hopping on. That was great. Hopefully, you guys got a ton of insights into what it actually looks like to grow and start an agency from ground zero and actually make it on the other side and have some insights on that. So, we'll probably see you again soon, Daniel. Thanks for coming on, man.
Yeah.
All
Thanks.
right.
One more thing. If you're a roofer, hit me up because I'll change your life. All
Yes, sir. There you go.
right.
Love it. Awesome. Okay, great. Thanks again, man.